The reason that I love sports so much is that you never know what is going to happen. No one knows what's going to happen today, what's going to happen tomorrow. Anything can happen. And that's what's going on in this AFC right now. No one knows what's happening. No one knows what's going on. Heading into the season, you already had a feeling. Like, alright, you already know who's winning. Chiefs are going to be the most dominant team, and the Bucks are going to be the most dominant team. Everyone else said, hold up, wait a minute, I disagree. Coming in, the Chiefs had a pretty good game. Start out the season against the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns a pretty darn good team. It's the dog pound. They ended up pulling it off in a late game. The next week, they turn around and they had to face the Ravens. The Ravens. And in an immaculate game. Such a fun game to watch to start off the season. But they fell to a turnover. Turnovers can kill you, and that game proved turnovers hurt. No matter what part of the game you're in, they hurt. They were so far back that the Denver Broncos were first in the division, and the Chiefs were in last. But then the Broncos started to play like themselves. They're not as good. They're not that ready yet. They're still young, trying to figure each other out. The Raiders start off 3-0, coming off of a victory against the Ravens to kick off the season. They couldn't pull through. They started to have, problems off the field with their coach and some players. They haven't been the same since, especially since they started to keep the flame going. But once you're, down in the mental game, you're down. Chargers though. Chargers were the one team that everyone was thinking, okay, this team's got it. This team's for real. In my book, no. They're still a young team. They're still figuring each other out. They're still trying to piece things together. They're a talented team. They're a darn good team, and they're a fun team to watch. They had an immaculate game against the Browns. Immaculate. But they fell too many times. They fell to the Vikings. Heading in, first place in their division. The last five, they're 2-3, whereas the Chiefs are 4-1. Now we're in a part of the season that you already know. The Chiefs, they're starting to turn it on, but the Chargers, they're starting to fall. That loss to the Vikings, those hurt. You have to win games, important games, and they couldn't. So then you turn around, you go to the AFC South and the AFC North, and then you've got finally at the last stop the AFC East. The AFC South, though. Okay, so the Chiefs aren't the number one team. The Chargers aren't the number one team. Here we go. It's the Titans. Titans know it. Titans got it. They're a team to beat. They can't beat the small teams. They can turn around. They can go out and they can put a beat down on the Chiefs. But they can't beat those mediocre teams. Colts, yes. Colts are 4-1 in the last 5. They're coming off a real hot streak against beating the Buffalo Bills 41-17. But it helps when you have pieces together, when you're turning things around. And that's what they did. That's what the Colts are doing. They're starting to piece things together. They're 6-5. Titans better watch out, because that was one team that the Colts beat, was the Titans. But you know who else beat the Titans? The New York Jets, who's 2-8. At the time, they were 1-7. They had one win. Faced the Titans. Jets gave them one more win. Titans gave them a win. I mean, heading into this season, you already knew Titans were going to be a good team because they have the best running back in the game in Derrick Henry. The guy he hit 1,000 yards in the first 3 games. 4 games, my bad. 947 yards rushing. in 4 games. However, he's out for the year. The Tennessee Derrick Henrys, are they a good team? I mean, yes, in their last 5, they are still 4-1, so they're still slinging it, but they did fall to the Jets. AFC North, that team has flip-flopped so many times. Ravens can turn around and they can destroy the Chiefs, but they cannot beat the Raiders. They can't even beat their own division. Same thing with the Browns. They can't beat the Chiefs. They can't beat this team, that team, but they can beat the Bengals. They can beat the Ravens, but they can't beat the Browns. The only team that's pretty consistent right now is the New England Patriots. Last 5, they're 5-0, and now it's starting to get cooking. They face the Titans this week. Next week, they turn around and they have to face the Bills. They got a bye week, then they face the Colts, but then they face the Bills again. And then they finish off the season with the Dolphins. They're 7-4 right now. They're tied for first. Can they pull it off? No one knows. Bills, they can't beat the worst team in the league, and the Jacksonville Jaguars literally lost 9-3 on field goals. They couldn't beat the Steelers, who doesn't even have a quarterback. They couldn't beat the Colts. Colts are on fire right now. They're 4-1. But, oh my. It's heating up. It's interesting. It's fun to watch. But that's what's fun about watching the AFC. It's a domino effect. This team can beat that team, but that team can beat this team. And I'm liking it. It's fun. I'm excited. And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to see what happens at the end of this season.